Today, we are taking a look at a town that's being built out of nowhere, just like the video we took a look at last week about a town in Belgium. This one here was actually a recommendation from that video that we did last week, and it was recommended by Graham Gresty. Hopefully I said that correctly. And the name of the video is King Charles Built a Town, and it surprised everyone. And it's by the Aesthetic City, which is the same as the video we did before. So they do great content. This is going to be super interesting. Before we get going here, go ahead and like the video. Let's see what we can see.
King Charles did the unthinkable and built a completely new town, proving that building beautifully is still possible. The name of the town? Poundbury. It was a daring experiment, and many thought it was going to fail, but instead the town became a huge success. But how? I traveled to this newly built place twice to discover its secrets and even interviewed the very master planner who designed it. You will hear the incredible story of how a visionary planner and
Dang, I wish I knew where that was.
I traveled to this newly
Amsterdam.
built place twice to discover its secrets and even interviewed the very master planner who designed it. You will hear the incredible story of how a visionary planner and a future king collaborated on this unique town, turning the king's vision for a harmonious, beautiful Britain into reality. We will discover how this urban experiment was built, even though many believed it would fail, and how it became a thriving, popular place to live, proving all its critics wrong. In this video I will also reveal the 6 design secrets that led to Poundbury's success. But we'll also look at what could perhaps be improved. Even better, we'll see how Poundbury even leads to exciting new developments elsewhere. The ideas behind Poundbury are spreading. So, let's get started.
I mean, well, he did a good job on that intro because now I'm super intrigued. He said a lot of things that I want to find out. So that's how an intro is supposed to work. Keeps you on the channel.
It's autumn, and once again I'm traveling to an edition of the IMCL Congress. Only this time it's not in Paris, but in a very special place in England. A new town developed right next to Dorchester. And that town is called Poundbury. This new development in the stunning Dorset landscape now has around 4,100 inhabitants.
Oh wow.
That's a lot less than Le Plaisir au Maison, which you might know from one of my previous videos. When you walk around the streets, the town looks surprisingly normal. You wouldn't even notice it is new, and that is exactly its strength. It's just a pleasant place, without...
Okay, so I've never been over there to anywhere in the UK. So for those of you that are from there, I mean, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, how did they do on this town? Does it look like it fits? I know there was a town like that in California that was like, it was a new town called Manteca. That's what they called it. And I mean, everything there was like brand new. And it just looked like a new town in the middle of nowhere, kind of. So I don't know. Just curious to know what you think about this town. If it passed your test.
Many eyesores or buildings that scream for attention. Everything is built with beauty and harmony in mind. The town was the initiative of not just a regular developer, but of the current King of England, His Royal Highness King Charles III. If you thought that this somehow meant it was easy to create this town, think again. As you will learn in this video, the very existence of this town is almost a miracle, as there were so many obstacles to create it like it is today. But before all that, we need to look at the reason why this town was built in the first place. And for that, we have to look at the king and his vision for Britain. During his life, Prince Charles saw how his beloved country was changing rapidly. Britain's cities and countryside were transforming, and not in a good way. Pristine landscapes were torn apart by motorways, soulless industrial areas encroached on peaceful meadows, and in the cities, charming neighborhoods were bulldozed to be replaced by grimy, low-quality flats. Instead of streets lined by
Wait, I want to see that. Okay. So that's how it used to look. Okay. That looks like, those don't look like apartments. Those look like giant single-family homes, maybe?
Replaced by grimy, low-quality flats. Instead of streets lined by terraced houses, people were cramped in stark, depressing housing estates with anonymous elevators and galleries, leading to more isolation and ripping apart communities.
Oh, wow.
And the same happened in historical inner city areas. Even though plenty of cities escaped the Blitz, few cities escaped the bulldozer. Many city centers in Britain were ravaged. With hostile...
Wait, what the hell? Hold on. Between 1955 and 1985, the
bulldozer. Many city centers in Britain
1.5 million homes were demolished.
With
oh wow, that's a lot of freaking homes.
Hostile experiments in concrete disrupting the harmonious urban fabric. All of this was the product of modern planning practices and architecture in the name of progress, and approved by city councils that wanted something new and experimental. Many of these experiments, though, would soon deteriorate so badly that they had to be torn down after just a few decades, making them incredibly unsustainable. The few cities that did escape more or less intact, like York or Bath, became tourist attractions.
Yeah.
It was this wave of unsustainable ugliness and inconsiderateness that alerted a young Prince Charles. Silently, he observed this nightmare unfolding in slow motion, until he could no longer hold himself and had to speak out.
Okay. They said cities that survived, and he said like York or Bath. I mean, I know there had to be more than just those two, but I mean, he almost said it like there were only two cities that kind of survived from a historical perspective. So that's
In
interesting.
slow motion, until he could no longer hold himself and had to speak out. Prince Charles was getting more and more annoyed with how Britain was defaced, until he felt he just had to act. In 1982, the National Gallery in London planned to expand onto Trafalgar Square, with a design by Ahrens, Burton and Corlick architects. It looked a bit like this, and Prince Charles did not like it. It was 1984 when Prince Charles gave a speech that would become legendary, and that would can the proposal for the National Gallery. He described the building as follows.
What is proposed is like a monstrous carbuncle on the face of a much-loved and elegant friend.
The British architecture
wow.
community was shocked. Soon they banded together in opposition to the Prince of Wales, but the future king wouldn't budge, far from it. In 1988, the prince took another big leap and launched a documentary and later a book called A Vision of Britain. In this, he poured his love for the crafts and the human-skilled, beautiful Britain which countless generations had worked so hard for to create. He also criticized the treatment of well-functioning historical city districts, and how the opinions of the mass of ordinary people were just ignored. But even this...
That must have been an interesting time in the world. Oh, it was in the late 80s. Because this is the same, I think it was 88 or 89, if I remember correctly. Oh my God. I think that was right about the town in Belgium. I think they built it in the late 80s, but I mean, that's when the Berlin Wall came down. 89, was it? Dang, I don't even know why I said anything. I always put myself on blast, but I think so. There was a lot going on in the world at that time.
This would not be enough to turn the tide. The world needed an example of what could be, proof that an alternative was actually possible. He decided that if he couldn't beat the planners, architects and builders, he should join them. So around the same time that he created his vision of Britain, the future king decided to create a town of his own. The prince had lands near Dorchester, tied to his title to the Prince of Wales, the Duchy of Cornwall. It is a private estate that was established by Edward III in 1337 to provide independence to his son and heir, Prince Edward. It would fund the charitable and private activities of the Prince of Wales and his family for centuries to come. Of course, the prince also needed a brilliant mind who could shape his ideas for a new town into an actual plan. And there was one person who could turn his vision into reality. Leon Krier.
Okay, so before we talk about him, so I mean, I know it took money. So obviously that's a nice thing to be able to just have money. I mean, enough money to do whatever the hell you want. Just build a town. I mean, why not? And I don't know, I don't understand how what the financial like setup is of the royal family. I guess they just have an endless amount of money. But I don't know. I mean, that's not a bad thing. I think it's great that he decided to do something good with this money. Seems like to me it's a good idea. But now let's take a look at this guy.
When the Prince of Wales, when he made his speech to architects in 1984, it was a bombshell. And all over England for weeks and weeks, people would talk about architecture, and that he was right, including architects and Foster's associates and even Rogers. They made declarations that as a result of this speech, they would change their policy, their design policy towards something more civic or something more classical.
The plan.
In 1988, Leon Creer was appointed to work on the concept for a town, which would become Poundbury.
He said, no, you don't have to explain it. I know it all. Would you want to be my consultant about architecture and urbanism? I said, well, why not?
Oh, wow.
But then a year later, I became head of a team which had already been responsible for being involved with the project before, which he didn't like. And I remember when we first sat around the table with the planning company who had looked after the project before, the prince said, Leon is now he's going to take over that job. And then the head of this company, Drivers Jonas company, Christopher Jonas, he looked like Dr. Spock. But he said, of course, we will take on board what Leon tells us. And so the prince banged the table very loudly and said, you are not going to take on board, you are going to do what Leo tells you.
Wow. Man. So you had a job working for someone. The prince, future king, comes up to you and asks almost like, hey, you want to do something better in the company that you're with? And then man, there must have been some satisfaction to be in that meeting where they say, this guy who works for you, you're going to do whatever he tells you to do. Wow. That's probably why he laughed.
You are not going to take on board. You are going to do what Leo tells you.
Leon Creer had a clear vision for Poundbury. The town would not be a simple extension of Dorchester, but an autonomous new settlement. It would have one town centre, but also local village centres, as the town would consist of multiple smaller communities. Between the local village centres and the town centre would be attractive pedestrian routes. The village centres had some basic functions to make sure everything was accessible within a 10-minute walk.
Oh, wow.
The plan was divided in a number of phases. The first phase bordered Dorchester directly. It was built in the early to mid-90s, and it has a more diverse vernacular architecture and windy roads. By now, the trees have grown and the buildings have gotten some patina. The second phase was much larger, with 900 dwellings. After this, the southwest quadrant followed. Then Queen Mother Square, and then the northeastern quadrant, which is almost finished. One quadrant is yet to be built, the northwest quadrant, which should be completed in 2026.
Oh, wow.
A number of different architects worked on designs for the buildings, like Ben Pentreath, George Amar Smith, Quinlan and Francis Terry, and John Simpson. During the creation of Poundbury, Leon...
Well, I mean, I don't know. I did already ask for you to tell me in the comments what you think, but it does look like it's this new town that's just put there. So, I mean, I don't know if that's good or bad, but it does look like, and remember that town I told you about in California, Manteca? It looks like that too. It looks like it's just kind of put there. All the houses look the same, you don't see a lot of, it doesn't look like I see a lot of cafes or, we call them cafeterias here in Spain, but I guess over there they're just cafes. But I don't see a lot of those, a lot of restaurants, things like that. So, and those kind of bring some culture to a town.
Creer and the Prince faced some huge and sometimes bizarre challenges. It began with an internal struggle between the Prince and his very own team. There were faulty project revenue calculations, and even threatening calls of an influential entrepreneur who didn't want competition by a Poundbury supermarket. At some point, Leon was finally firmly in place as lead designer and things seemed to go more easy. But that's when the bureaucratic hurdle started. From opposing views on street design to unlogical parking schemes for the center, to opposition against the towers and the impact they would have on the surrounding landscape. One after the other hurdle was thrown up. Then there were budget constraints, which limited the options for the paving of the streets, and the sudden disappearance of a key manager during the 2008 financial crisis. but nothing could stop Poundbury from getting built.
Oh, wow. Critiquing success.
Slowly but surely, one by one, the phases of Poundbury were completed. As the town was getting built, it had to face another kind of opposition. The constant sneers of the media and architects. Poundbury was supposedly the toy town of a prince who had lost all touch with reality. It was an experiment doomed to fail, a kitsch Disneyland. However poisonous the journalists, architects and their hit pieces, they couldn't change the fact that Poundbury was starting to look like an enormous success. Apart from one final phase, most of Poundbury is now completed. The reason that it succeeded is very simple. There was strong demand for what was getting built, and people simply loved the homes and the atmosphere of the town. Poundbury became so lucrative even, that it became another reason to attack the project. The success of Poundbury must have made the architects who called it kitsch and mock even more angry, as it proved that people simply preferred the very thing they hated so much. The funniest thing about Poundbury is how normal it feels, for the most part at least. Queen Mother Square is a bit more of a spectacle. Both the old and the newer parts are very charming.
Oh, here we go. Old and the newer. Okay. I mean, obviously, even the old is new in the scheme of things. But maybe it just means like the old was built the early 90s and the new was built here recently. Maybe that's what he means.
I especially love the Woodlands Crescent. With its fully grown trees in the park, it's a hopeful glimpse in Poundbury's future when all the trees have matured. Also, Poundbury has sparked similar developments that built on the same principles, like in Newquay and Truro. And thanks to
Whoa. Where?
built on the same principles, like in
Newquay
and Truro.
Truro. Oh, okay. So more new towns.
And thanks to Poundbury, the architects working on it were involved in many other projects, all over Britain in fact. So in the end, it seems that the King's vision has become a success and is spreading. Just look at the many projects by Adam Architecture or Ben Pentreath, and you see the beginnings of a new way of building cities. So now it's time to dive into the secrets of Poundbury's success.
So that's, well, I bet maybe he probably did have a vision of all these new cities, because I was just thinking that's like a interesting like byproduct of his vision for Poundbury. But maybe he had a vision that they would spread to a bunch of different cities. So, all right, now we're looking at the design secrets.
First of all, mixed functions. Poundbury was not just supposed to extend Dorchester, but it had to be an autonomous town with mixed functions like shops, offices, workplaces and houses. Why was that so important? Well, many newly built towns or city extensions are monotonous dormitory suburbs that don't offer anything else but housing. This is the result of the failed modernist idea of separation of functions. They kept housing separate, put shops in a mall and offices in an office park. But this makes these towns boring and prevents a thriving community from forming, as life happens where living, producing, business and entertainment meet. In Poundbury, you will see small shops, cafes, offices and restaurants everywhere.
What the heck? Okay, that answers my question, because I didn't think I saw any. Maybe I just didn't know what the hell I was looking for. But okay, Butter Market Stores. My glasses ain't working. Butter Market Stores, I believe that says. And I partners in design, so that's a business. Okay.
And the town is full of at-home workshops where mostly women have created a living for themselves.
Oh, cool.
2,600 people work in Poundbury, which is really a lot.
I said social housing is useless if you don't have social workshops, so that the people who start their life with small family and they want to be independent, if they find cheap workshop, they will do a job, an independent job.
Number 2, the walkable city. The second design secret was that the town would be walkable and attractive for pedestrians and cyclists. The town is designed in a compact way and built to offer everything close by. The sidewalks offer plenty of room for pedestrians.
Oh, wow.
And there are many parks and village greens for children to play.
I mean, that's a big deal. Those big sidewalks.
Offer plenty of room for pedestrians. And there are many parks and village greens for
children
to play.
Oh, man, look at that. That's awesome.
With windy roads and slightly raised intersections, cars slow down naturally, eliminating the need for ugly and useless traffic signs.
Oh.
Cars are parked in the mews, the narrow streets originally meant for carriages at the backside of houses, which you might know from London, which are designed in a similar way, slowing down traffic. Number 3. Attractive local architecture.
Okay.
The third design secret was that Poundbury would not be built with generic, modernist architecture one could find all over the planet, but with architecture that is adapted to the specific, charming character of Dorset. This included using local materials, and this meant that local builders and craftsmen had to be used. Number 4. Affordable housing. The fourth secret to Poundbury's success was that the town was to offer around a third of the homes as affordable housing. After
Is that something that's normal there in England, the UK?
Poundbury's success
So, okay.
was that the town was
Britain.
to offer around a third of the homes as affordable housing. After all, to create a truly vibrant and healthy, diverse community, all layers of society should be represented and have a chance to live in a place like Poundbury.
We have about 35% of social housing in town, mixed with other houses. So there is already a variety of incomes who live next to each other. And instead of having them in one zone, we distributed them higgledy-piggledy.
Right.
Number 5.
I think that's great. They make it affordable for, more people.
Craftsmanship. The fifth and one of the most underrated design secrets was to make the
Craftsmanship.
town using as much craftsmanship as possible within the budget. Most of the building industry has moved to industrial building methods, leading to a monotonous, sterile, machine aesthetic in buildings. Craftsmanship gives buildings a more humane, beautiful and soft character, and it often leads to higher quality as well. The prince found this incredibly important. To promote the crafts, he founded the foundation, the Prince's Foundation, which is now called the King's Foundation. This organization would train craftsmen and architects that would later work in Poundbury. 6. Sustainability.
Oh, wow.
Finally, the town was supposed to be built sustainably, with sustainable building materials such as only allowing timber windows instead of UPVC windows, which are hard to repair, often end up in landfills and contain hazardous chemicals.
Right.
Also, Poundbury features things like integrated bird boxes, a community orchard, and even an anaerobic digestion plant that turns biomethane into electricity.
Oh, wow.
But using local materials and building methods like using structural masonry, so the buildings can sustain for a long time, are key as well. And the beauty of the town makes sure that it is worth keeping and that people don't tear it down prematurely, because the most sustainable building is the one you don't demolish. Does this mean that Poundbury is perfect? Well, of course not. For example, I believe that the asphalt paving isn't as aesthetically pleasing as it could be.
Yeah, I think that was a problem we ran into with that Belgium town. And I keep calling it that because it's hard for me to say it. To say the name of the town. But that's one of the things that I was noticing is just the asphalt. And maybe it just takes a long time for it to look worn, especially when you don't have a lot of traffic. So,
For example, I believe that the asphalt paving isn't as aesthetically pleasing as it could be. But as Leon Creer noted in our interview, some corners had to be cut. Ideally, they wanted to use natural stone pavers, but that was too expensive. Extra greenery would also be another improvement. In some places, Poundbury clearly lacks some green. The first phase of Poundbury feels surprisingly green already. And in the newer parts, there are some wonderful green places as well. One point of critique I often hear is Queen Mother Square and its many parked cars. I understand this point of criticism, because it makes the square much less beautiful. But from what I've heard, underground parking simply wasn't feasible financially, and the business owners surrounding the square want their customers to be able to easily load their groceries.
no, that's true.
A final point of critique is that Poundbury has become exclusive, or gentrified.
Oh,
Although
really?
places should be accessible to all income groups, I think this point is a bit unfair. A lot of effort was put into offering 35% of affordable homes in Poundbury. Also, people weren't displaced as it is a new development. And thirdly,
But wait. So you have 35% of the people who have affordable housing. So that means, is that still a town that's being gentrified? I guess obviously not completely, But
Also, people weren't displaced as it is a new development. And thirdly, the premium people pay to live in Poundbury is a signal that this place works. It attracts people. So perhaps we should ask, why has it become such a commercial success? King
Yes,
Charles has,
why?
with the help of Leon Krier and many skilled architects, craftsmen and builders, showed the world that with vision and persistence, it's still possible in today's world to create harmonious, beautiful, sustainable places that are modern, but also respect local culture, valuable traditions and history. Even though Poundbury is a massive success, there are many property developers and municipalities who don't seem to get the message. People are desperate for authenticity, beauty and harmony. They simply don't care about experimental concepts, but they want to live in nice places. The moment that decision makers start realizing this and start building what people want, it gets much easier to build, as there will be much less opposition with happier residents and happier developers too. It will result in popular places that last longer because they are loved. And that's the key to a truly sustainable future. So this is the story about Poundbury.
that is very true, because if they feel invested, they'll do more to take care of the city. They'll come up with new ideas. You'll get a lot of creativity. They'll be more active in the city because they believe it's their city. So that was a great video there. Thank you, Graham Gresty. Graham Gresty, my bad. Thank you for that recommendation. I thought that was a really interesting video. If you have any other recommendations you want me to check out, there's a link down below for the recommendation form. Go ahead and fill that out. Lisa and myself are taking a look at those, and we'll do our best to get to them if we can. If you like this content here and you want to see more just like it, then subscribe to the channel, man. It's easy and it's free. My name is Greg. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.